Hi, my name is Catherine, and I've been writing my debut young adult fantasy novel for way too long now. See, I've had this idea since high school, but my life got in the way and I never finished it. But that is going to change. I'm determined to finish my first draft by the end of summer and before my birthday, and I'm going to take you along with me so you can keep me accountable. So, without further ado, welcome to the writing vlog. You know, this is a lot harder to do with one hand. One thing I am known for is my banana bread, so that is currently in the oven right now, and while that's baking, I've been doing a little bit of writing, and I just hit 18,000 words. Yay, everybody clap. For those of you who are new, my novel, which I'm going to call Project Souls, is a dual POV young adult fantasy that follows my two main characters, Killian and Melina. They're two aristocrats / knights, and they are tasked with investigating the political unrest that is happening in their crumbling nation, all while also forced to compete in a competition against other members in their order for the counselor member position. I'll put up some of my mood boards here so you can kind of get the vibe of it. So you get a little bit of espionage, you get a little bit of trials, you get some action, some romance, you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Of course, I cannot forget the magic system in here as well because I personally really like it. Now, I'm currently on chapter 11, which is Melina's point of view, and I personally really like writing her because unlike Killian, Melina's thought process is a lot more scattered. At the beginning of this chapter, she was thinking one way, and then towards the middle, she kind of thought another way, and then towards the end, I plan on kind of switching it again, not to make it confusing or anything, but I'm switching it and then she'll have a finalized decision. Whereas Killian's chapter, which was chapter 10, the previous chapter, his thought process is a lot more narrow, I would say. It's a lot more straightforward. So he arrived to his decision rather quickly. Right now, I'm also writing all of the build up to the actual trial and investigation and espionage itself, and I'm getting really excited because I have been thinking about these set of trials for the longest time now. I wish I could show you my mood boards for it, but that would be such a huge spoiler. And as much as I love spoiling, I can't spoil that for you guys. But just know that I am in fact excited about these trials because I've been thinking about it forever, and each trial has its own purpose and its own reasoning. So these are not just like willy-nilly type of trials, you know? I'm going to continue writing this. I will wait till my banana bread is done so I could show you guys the end result. It is currently Friday and my goal is to hit maybe 19,000, maybe 20,000 words by the end of the day, but who knows? A girl can dream. Okay, I will see you when the banana bread is done. Saw, after I took the banana bread out of the oven, I did end up going to hang out with some friends, which completely derailed my entire writing day. But you know what? I'm gonna let it slide because I did in fact have fun. Also, on top of that, we went to a small bookstore and I bought this book right here. This book is called Of Flame and Fury by Michaela Bridge. The Goodreads summary seemed very interesting. On top of that, I read a Goodreads review, a non-spoilery review by the way, and they said that this book is almost as if they combined Formula One racing with phoenixes, which obviously sounded very intriguing. Also, the spine is pink, so of course I had to pick it up. I look forward to reading this book. I am excited, but let me tell you a little bit about my writing update because I only ended up writing about 200 words since I last spoke to you. I'm still on chapter 11, but it is only 10 p.m. and if there's one thing you guys should know about me, it is that I'm a big night owl. So for me, the night is still young and I still have many more hours to go if I want to meet my writing goal. I mean, we'll see if I even hit it. Well, who knows? Now, recently I've been trying a new method of writing, a new method that I'm going to call it the YOLO method. The YOLO method because I'm just zooming forward, but I'm not looking back at all, which I am sure it is a popular method. I mean, I know a lot of writers when they're writing draft 0 and draft 1, they probably use some form of this method because honestly, at the end of the day, you just need words on a paper, you just need the skeleton of a draft or a skeleton of the novel, and just moving forward and putting everything down without constantly going back to edit. I feel like that definitely will help, you know, finish the story, which is clearly the problem that I have. But I don't know, I feel like this method is not really working for me, so I think I'm going to revert back to my old method. Also because in my own opinion at least, I feel like my own method works a little bit better than this YOLO method because it makes me more of a a quote-unquote clean drafter, because I think with this YOLO method and just zooming forward, it takes me too long because I'm too picky and I'm too much of a perfectionist. So I'm like sitting there and trying to think of the right word. But I feel like with my own writing method, it works a little bit better because I write in layers, which probably sounds really crazy and it probably sounds time consuming and you're probably confused, like, what do you mean you write in layers? But let me explain. I'm going to call this writing method the 5-layer method, which sounds crazy, but I do in fact write in layers. And here is an example. I'm going to quickly explain, but if you guys want a full video on this, please do let me know because I do want to share. And I don't think I've ever seen someone write like this, or at least I personally have never seen someone write like this. But just for me personally, it helps a lot. So for example, right, when I am opening up a new chapter, for the most part, I already know what's going to happen because I am a big planner. So when I open up the chapter, I'm going to start off with layer 1, which is the more directional and factual layer. It will contain lines such as he entered the arena through the tunnels, atop the stairs, he heard a voice, he continued through the curved halls with the guards, something like that. Those are very directional and those are very factual. But then see, once I'm done writing that entire chapter, I will go back to the top and then I will go through it again and add in more lines. And next layer is usually my world building and my setting, and I'll go through it again and then I'll go back to the top, and then this is where I'll add in more personality, more inner monologue. It'll contain things like, you know, maybe the way he walks, the way he stands. For example, my main character Killian, when he's standing, he is a lot more likely to stand with his arms crossed, whereas Melina, when she is standing, she is a lot more likely to like play with her thumbs. Things like that, I will add it during this layer. And of course, I'll go back in and I'll add in a lot more figurative language, I'll add in a lot more metaphors, and then I'll go in up again and then I'll polish it all. So it sounds like a lot, like it sounds like, you know, I'm constantly going back and back and back, but I promise it is not as time consuming as I'm making it sound. Like, it is pretty easy. And I think that does help me a lot because I feel like in the YOLO method that I'm doing, I'm sitting there trying to think of the right word before I continue. Whereas with my layered method, it's kind of like I'm constantly going back and back and back and being able to like look at it again, which probably sounds like I'm just editing the exact same document, and maybe that's exactly what it is, who knows. But I don't know, I personally just find that my layered method works a little bit better and it makes me more of a quote-unquote clean drafter, or what I consider myself to be a cleaner drafter. Or cleaner drafter? I don't know if I said that correctly. Again, if you guys actually want a full in-depth video on it, someone let me know because I'd be very happy to kind of show you so I don't sound crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna go shower, get into my pajamas, and hopefully finish chapter 11, hopefully hit my goal as well. But I'll probably see you guys in the morning. Okay guys, I have some terrible news. I did not write at all this weekend. Number 1, I already had existing plans that I needed to attend. And then number 2, I had the worst headache that would not go away despite any Advil I took, despite how many naps I took, it would not go away. And really that headache did not do me any good. So I did in fact not write at all this weekend. And it is currently Monday. I don't know why I said Monday. It is in fact Tuesday right now. And I do actually have to get to work soon. I have about 30 minutes until I need to start. But I do plan on writing after work, and I do plan on implementing a new thing, which let me tell you guys about it, because this weekend I had a dream. Okay, it came to me in a dream. So let me explain a little bit, add a little bit more context. As of right now, my story has Killian and Melina kind of having this arc of being colleagues to rivals slash reluctant allies. I don't think that's really a spoiler because I feel like I definitely have said something along those lines in my previous videos. But right now they're more like colleagues. They are in the same order. They are both protectors of this country and they see each other at meetings, but they don't really run in the same friend groups. But then I had an idea and it came to me in a dream, and it was to make them childhood friends and then have them turn into strangers, I guess, slash colleagues, and then make them rivals slash reluctant allies. Now the reason why I feel like this definitely works is because it's going to add in a lot of angst, a lot of tension, and I think it plays in well with their current reputation when the story starts. Also on top of that, who doesn't love a good childhood childhood friends to strangers moment. Now short term, I don't think there's a lot of work that needs to be done, especially because I'm still at the very beginning of the story and they haven't really had many interactions. So I'm gonna go into those scenes, I'm going to add in more lines, and I think that's really all the work that needs to be done. It's not a lot, but I think long term it is definitely going to benefit the story. It's going to add in that extra layer, and I'm just really excited. So thank you, me in my dreaming mode, for thinking of this. All right, I am gonna get to work, but just know that I am very excited to get back to my writing. Hello again, it's a little bit later. I've taken a shower and I am here to let you guys know that we've reached the end of the video. I'm kidding, we have not reached the end of the video, but we did in fact reach the end of Act 1, which by the way, I am so excited to say that because I need you guys to know in all of the previous drafts that I've written, because by the way, I've rewritten this thing more times than I could count, but in all the previous drafts that I've written, I've never made it this far. So the fact that I can physically tell you guys that I am done with Act 1 is just so crazy to me. Now that I am done with Act 1 though, I actually need to start planning Act 2, which will be a blast because I am so excited for Act 2. It's gonna have my favorite things, espionage. It's going to have trials. Melina and Killian are gonna interact a lot more, which I'm so excited about because I am in fact implementing what I said earlier. So I am going to incorporate that childhood friends to strangers slash colleagues to rivals slash reluctant allies to maybe something more. But just know I am so excited for Act 2 because that will be where the fun is at. I have nothing planned for Act 2 though. I planned all the way up to the end of Act 1, so that means I need to start planning the Act 2 chapters. So I think I'm going to spend the rest of the night doing that and then maybe going back and tweaking a little bit of Act 1, not too much because I don't want to be editing the entire thing, but I do in fact have to go back and add in those tiny lines and those tiny scenes that have maybe I cannot speak. I have to go back and add in the scenes and the lines that mention that Killian and Melina did know each other more than just strangers when they were younger and that they were actually friends who fell out of touch. Overall, I'm just so excited. I cannot believe I finished Act 1. Of course, I got myself a nice little sweet treat. This is the Vietnamese coffee with boba and some sea salt, except the sea salt is very salty. I feel like I'm drinking the ocean, but it's still good nonetheless. It's very refreshing. Hello everybody, I am in fact going to be fast because I am sitting in a hot car right now and the windows are rolled down on the driver's side, so if you could hear any of the outside noise, I apologize, but I cannot be sitting in a hot car like that. But I thought I would give you guys some quick updates. So last night I did in fact finish planning Act 2, which I'm so happy about. So I have the chapter by chapter outline. Am I going to keep it exactly the way it is? Probably not. Knowing myself, I am going to tweak it, I am going to edit it, but that is totally okay. I'm happy that I have some semblance of an outline. Now I thought I would also use this time to talk to you a little bit about the deadline I set for myself and my new goal. I mentioned it at the beginning of this video, but I would love to finish my first draft by the end of summer or my birthday. So I did some math and I thought I would share this math with you. Looking at today's date, this exact date that I'm filming this right now, to the deadline, I have 56 days. And I also currently have 20,000 words and I want my first draft to hit 100,000 words, which means in 56 days, I'm going to need to write about 88,000 words. Now, of course, me and my analytical and math brain, I can't just leave it there. I have to do more calculations. So I started looking at my chapter averages, and on average, I range about 1,500 words. So because each chapter is 1,500 words and I need to write 80,000 words in 56 days, that basically means I need to write a chapter a day. Now I do think that I have maybe a 1 or 2 day buffer, so that's pretty good because I know for a fact I'm going to get busy some days, but I think I definitely can do 1 chapter a day. I'm so sorry if you could hear some noise outside. I think someone's doing some woodworking. Oh no, he's mowing a lawn?
He's mowing a lawn. So in 56 days, I'm going to need to write a chapter a day to meet my goal. I really hope I can do that. I know this upcoming week, I'm going to be super busy at work. I actually have to go into the city 3 days out of the 5 days for work. And I already know, because I don't live in the city, it's going to be an hour-and-a-half commute there, and then an hour-and-a-half commute back, and then there's rush hour and all the things. And I don't know if I'll be able to write a lot this week, which definitely will ruin my schedule. But no, I'm determined, and you will hear it from me here. I'm determined. I'm going to write a chapter a day, or I'm going to meet that goal of writing my first draft by the end of summer or by my birthday, because I feel like that would be the best birthday gift. It's getting kind of hot in here, and I think that's very evident by my glistening face, but I think I'm going to end the video here. I think I'm going to start a new video about me starting Act 2. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. And last but definitely not least, thank you so much for your support and just welcoming me to this community, because I hope you guys know I do in fact read all the comments, and any of the comments that you guys have left on my reading vlogs or my writing vlogs, I always try to reply to, and I am just so overwhelmed by the support and love. So thank you for that. If you guys want to follow me, my socials will be linked down below, and I am gonna go inside now because it's very hot. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye!